Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode 260 of NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your Mr. Pal Val, or Mr. Your Pal Val, and then with me is the man, the myth, the legend, PSA and White Castle Hall of Famer, Professor King NASCAR, Logan. How are
I
you
feel
today
like
tonight?
I feel like I'm about ready to break.
Yeah, that'll do that. Yeah. And speaking of, we got a great show for everybody today. We are going to have a guest on today, Mike from Ripper Racing Breaks. We're going to do the spellbound word of the week. Going to talk about the Racing Card Hall of Fame. Got to get those nominations in, and then we'll finish the show with King's Court.
hmm
You and all that stuff. So, anyway, I want to thank our sponsor, Panini America, and shout outs to Kyle Katz, JW, Mike H, Misha Wines, and Rip It Racing Breaks for the YouTube and Rumble comments. We read them, so please leave them.
Yep.
Also, a little more housekeeping. Panini Prism is still set to release 11/26. So, right
Yep.
before Thanksgiving there.
Happy
Subject,
Thanksgiving.
subject to change, we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a turkey.
All those hobby shops that are going to have all that Prism and none of them are going to be open.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way the dressing crumbles.
So how does that work? So you get your product on Wednesday, you have Thanksgiving, and it's Black Friday. So is Prism discounted,
I'd like to hope so.
right? Because it's Black Friday sale.
Speaking of Black Friday, I know I'm taking the wheel and going, "Ah!" but I looked at some of the big three and some of their Black Friday specials.
Yeah,
All I can say is this:
yeah.
I'm not impressed.
I think it takes a little bit, maybe a little closer to Thanksgiving there before we get some of those, and they will change over the course of the month too, because I know they'll have some early stuff, and you never know when those are going to pick up or when to pick it up or if it's going to drop. So I'm thinking like 2018 Dunruss case last year, and it dropped to like $500 at one point, and then went back up. So it's
Wow.
um, and then cases of blasters and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
not like the old days where you just get them $5 a blaster.
Yeah, that's our buying point right there is $5 a hit.
Yeah, when you get $5 a hit, man,
Yes,
you
we're
you
there.
buy then. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so the next few weeks be on the lookout for the big three for the. Uh, Now that I think about it, I don't know, just off of tangent as well. Panini also had like something for the Panini Instant, so you might be able to snag some Panini Instant stuff. Um, Helps them clear out some of the older parallel stuff.
I wonder if they're discounting some of the parallels.
Yeah, because I remember last year I was thinking about maybe that's when I bought Joey Logano Championship at like 99 or whatever the auto. So anyway,
Oh, cool.
yep. All right, let's get let's try to steer the wheel back.
I'm going back the other way.
Yeah, don't
Here we go.
overcorrect, but just enough back into the center line. All right.
I'm back over the yellow line. We're good.
So let me manage this here. Oh man, doing this board here. All right. So um, let's bring on our guest here.
Yeah. We would like to bring on the Grand Poobah at Ripid Racing Brakes, Mr. Mike Norman. Hey, Mike.
Hey, welcome.
Fellas,
How are you tonight?
doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. I'm hoping to see the Aurora Borealis. You like that big technical term I used tonight later on?
That's that's very technical.
Yes, instead of Northern Lights.
Yeah. You had to really pay attention in astrology and science class for that.
Yeah, I did.
At least for those few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I mean, talking cards. I mean, how bad can it be?
No, any day you can talk cards is a good day.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mike, I'd like to start out some questioning with you. First of all, tell us about yourself and a little bit about your background and you know your racing preferences and things like that.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, my background goes all the way back. Like, my dad got me into racing when I was 5 years old, going to the dirt tracks. And that's my background is dirt track racing. So, if you follow me on social media at all, you'll see a lot of dirt sprint cars, dirt late model stuff. Um, that's where my love is dirt racing. Um, and so and then that's bled on to NASCAR over the years with various dirt guys making the transition. Jeff Gordon, um, Steve Kinser. A lot of people may not really remember Steve all that well because he didn't have that great of a NASCAR career, but then Dave Blaney and then so on and so forth. You got Kyle Larson, Seabell, all those guys now. So,
Yeah.
um, but that's where my love for racing comes from and what I'm into personally. So,
So, do you remember a guy named Sammy Swindell?
oh, absolutely. I've met Sammy several times.
He lives I used to live literally across the highway from where his shop was
Hmm.
back in the day, and I used to go dumpster diving in his in his dumpster about 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah,
I found a few things. It was pretty cool.
yeah. Sammy is Sammy's one of a kind for sure. And I've got out in my garage. I've got a wheel cover off a sprint car that's signed by Sammy and his son Kevin.
Ah, Kevin Swindell. Yes, that's
So
awesome.
yeah.
So Mike, how long have you been collecting, and do you have a favorite driver?
So I'm one of the people that collected as a kid, and then kind of got out of it. Through the late teenage years, got out of it, and went through that broke stage as a college person and young adult, and now I've got adult money again now. So. Um, but so I got back into it in the fall of 2019 is when I kind of got back into cards, and I should have had my wife come on to tell the story because I just one day out of the blue said, "Hey, I think I'd like to get back into cards a little bit," and who knew that 5+ years later I'd be doing card breaks every other night and selling cards and going to card shows and doing all this stuff that I'm doing. And so, yeah, never expected all that to happen for sure. But as far as favorite drivers, yeah, all of my favorite drivers are the dirt guys. So Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's really not a dirt guy, but he gets that accolade by association with his dad and by being an owner of a racetrack. Um, so those are the guys I root for. My wife's a Denny Hamlin fan um, because her dad just retired from FedEx about a year ago. So
Wow. FedEx is the hub is here where I live in Memphis, and every night starting about 10:30, the planes come in from the west or east and head west to the airport right over my house every night.
yeah,
I'm used to it now, so
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. It's one of those. My father-in-law. Cool thing for him, or real quick cool story for him is he worked here in Columbus, Ohio, for years for FedEx, and they had talked about wanting to move to Florida. And one day, out of the blue, about 8 years ago, he got wind that they might be opening a FedEx branch in St. Petersburg, and so he told his boss he wanted to put his name in. And a couple weeks later, they said, "Hey, you got the job. You're going to open this building with us."
Wow.
And then, of course, a whirlwind of sell your house, move to Florida.
Mm,
And so now he's retired. My mother in law's retired, and they're both in the process of building a house back here at home again. So
that's
full
cool.
circle. But yeah, FedEx was good to them for sure.
That's awesome. So, um, for our listeners that are new to brakes, can you explain a brake and kind of what you do, maybe some step by step things, like what kind of different brakes you have, like driver brakes, team brakes, however how you do that. If you want
Yeah,
to just
sure.
kind of do a 30,000 foot view.
Yeah. So in simplest terms, um, the way I explain it to everybody is if you're a collector, specifically for NASCAR, if you're a collector of a NASCAR driver, say you're a Ryan Blaney fan, or say you're a Joey Logano fan, or maybe you're a collector of Richard Petty, whatever the case may be. I always explain it that in simplest terms, you pay for your particular driver in each box or each case or each break, whatever we're doing in that break, you pay for that particular driver. Um, about 95% of what I do is pick your driver style in that format. And the reason I do that format where you're picking your particular driver is I feel like that caters to more of the collector. Whereas I'll do some driver groups or teams, especially if you ever catch one of my lunch breaks. Those are kind of groups of drivers. And so you might get 10 or 12 drivers in one little lot. And I feel like those are okay as well because you're still getting to pick what you want as far as some of the drivers. But then of course you're going to end up with some cards that you may not necessarily collect that particular driver, and then that's where that kind of process becomes a little bit cumbersome. Of what do I do now? Do I trade it? Do I sell it? Do I put it on eBay? Do I? So that's why I try to stay as much in the pick your driver lane as I can. So whatever cards come out of those boxes or those cases of your driver, then you get those cards. Quite simply enough.
Yeah. So you do that primarily on Facebook, correct?
Yeah. Yep. I do everything on Facebook. I've done the Whatnot thing, and I tell people I kid when Whatnot came out, I was probably the very first NASCAR person on Whatnot because I was beating on their door, emailing them every other day saying, "Hey, I need a tab that says NASCAR. I need a tab that says motorsports," because the only thing that they had at the time was F1. And so like I would try to do a Whatnot live, and because I'm under F1, people thought they were getting F1 cards. And I'm like, "No, I'm not F1 at all. I'm NASCAR, like you're in the wrong spot." And they're like, "No, you're in the wrong spot because you're under F1."
Wow.
So, but it started as a Facebook group, and it really quickly grew from there, and it works well for us. So it's just where we've kept it.
So you mentioned that you started coming back to collecting back in 2019. So how did the Ribbit Racing breaks get started, and what inspired you to focus on specifically on NASCAR instead of other sports primary?
Yeah, well, when I decided to get back into it, I thought I need to collect the things that I like. And so for me, the things outside of NASCAR that I like are Ohio State football. Um, we're a split household, and my wife's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. So that creates a lot of fun times in our house. But so those are the things that we collect really: Ohio State football, Browns, Steelers, and NASCAR, and that's it. Um, and I created the group because I was in one of those situations where I was like, well, now I got cards of drivers I didn't want. I got the John Hunter Nemecheks and the Austin Dillons and all the guys. And what do I do with them? So I thought, well, I'll create this group and just try to do like some buy, sell, trade stuff, and see if I can invite some people in or get some, a place where we can just trade amongst ourselves or whatever. And I never intended to do breaks with it when I started the group. Probably went on for 6 months as, maybe 30 or 40 group members and just that, just kind of a little community, and that was it. And one day I got into a couple of breaks and didn't do well in them. And the breaks that I got in, I just didn't love the formats and the structure of them, just kind of how they were laid out. And I thought, I could probably do this myself and do it better than some of these folks. And so that's one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. And here we are. And I will
Took
say,
off.
funny enough, I've told this story in my group many times. You guys will find this hilarious, probably. The very first break I did was 2020 Prism. We did 4 boxes, and I was so not sure of how to do it that I had my phone set up on my desk. It was being held by a roll of duct tape because I didn't know what I was, I didn't know what I was doing. So the phone's in a duct tape roll, and second box of the break, we pulled a Haley Deegan 101 gold vinyl. And, that was right when Haley was like crazy hot. The guy that got the card, of course, thrilled. I sent him the card, and he had messaged me when he received it, said everything's cool, got the card, thank you very much. I've never heard from him again.
Huh.
So,
That's
so I like to
crazy.
tell that story like, hey, that guy was smart. It's like going to the casino. He put it down on black, he hit, and he walked away and said, I'm out, guys,
Yep. That's what he did. Holy smokes. That's wild.
Wow.
All right. So I guess the next question, so what makes breaking NASCAR cards unique compared to breaking other sports like football or basketball?
Well, a couple of things. Obviously, for me, one of the biggest things is, aside from a few things in Donruss this year, we still have race used mem. Everything's still race used, where a football card, it says what this piece of material may be associated or may not be associated with the player at all, or
Right.
so that's one of the biggest things to me is the mem. And then I think our collectors, or our world of NASCAR, are legitimate collectors, where when you get into football and some of the other sports, there's a lot of prospecting going on, and a lot of for example, Connor Zilisch is obviously really hot right now, so everybody wants Connor Zilisch spots and breaks and wants his cards, but it's not so crazy, maybe back when Zion Williamson was a rookie in the NBA, and that rage. Uh, those two things aren't nearly the same as far as people trying to chase those. And so even though we have a couple of trendy guys, 99% of everybody in the NASCAR world are collectors primarily. So I think that really helps a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. We had an episode, gosh, I don't know how long ago it's been, Val. It's been probably a couple of years ago, where I went to the F1 website or the Facebook group, and I went to the NASCAR Facebook group, the Nuts group, and compared the posts to see which ones were about collecting, which ones were about trading, which ones were about selling and buying. And by far, more people were collecting in the NASCAR group than they were in the F1 group. The F1 group was more about selling. So, yeah, I totally agree with you on that statement.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, just from doing card shows, uh, the only other thing that I see at the card shows that's somewhat comparable to NASCAR, for me anyway, is WWE. There's a lot of collectors in that world, and not so much flippers or prospectors.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of crossover between people that collect WWE will collect NASCAR and vice versa.
Yep.
So I've seen a lot of that.
Yep.
So we are coming up on starting Panini's 11th year of NASCAR. So I was going to say, how would you grade Panini's job with their NASCAR license over the years, and what sits they've nailed and what you'd like to see them improve on or bring back?
Well, I'll tell you, Panini's in a tough spot. in my opinion, with NASCAR, because NASCAR over the last couple of years hasn't been doing themselves a lot of favors, and that's making it even tougher on Panini, I'm sure. And now with everything else that's going on with Panini, they're in a tough spot for sure. But you know, my favorite products, when I look back through the years, I'm a big Donruss fan. I'll always be a big Donruss fan. It's for me, the core of collecting is set building, and Donruss is right there in that wheelhouse for me. It's affordable for most people, so Donruss will always be one of my favorites. And then after Donruss, probably Certified. I loved 2016 and 2018 Certified. I wish they'd bring it back, especially when you see some of the football card designs that they have with their Certified line. I think it would be a home run for NASCAR if they do Certified, and it would still be in that affordable price point. I think probably same lines as Prism and Select, um, and then people will think I'm kind of crazy and maybe turn their nose the other direction a little bit, but I loved Victory Lane. I thought Victory Lane was a great set. It was affordable. So any of those boxes, like Victory Lane, Torque was another one that I loved. Um, any of those that are I consider mid level, you know what I mean, where they're not a premium product like National Treasures or Prime, but they're not the base Don or anything that you can get kind of smashed in between. I'm a fan of, where you're going to get multiple hits and not break the piggy bank to do it.
Right. So you're talking about Certified. Val and I love Certified. We in fact, there's a lot of cards that pop up on King's Court that are from Certified. I think Misha asked us not too long ago what we would like to bring back, and that was one of the ones that we told him that we
Yeah.
liked was Certified.
Yeah, 100%. If I could wave a wand and get any single product back, Certified would be the one for
Yeah,
sure.
I told him Certified, but maybe add a few more colors.
Yeah.
A few more levels of
Yeah.
color.
I can tell you when I do my breaks with, because you can still get a few boxes here and there of like 2018 Certified. They're still out there some. When I do breaks with those, I mean, everybody loves the mirror golds, the mirror greens.
Mm.
Everybody they just love those. They're such a sharp card.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And they are foil, but
Yep.
still they're great. They're great cards.
Yep.
And that first year it had so many rookies in 2016. It
Mm-hmm.
was just incredible. All right, so kind of switching gears a little bit. Who are the top 3 most popular drivers currently in your breaks?
Well, I think you guys probably know the answer to at least one of them. Connor Zilisch is certainly right at the top, for obvious reasons. I don't think I have to explain it.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Um,
we'll see another driver like him for a while.
yeah, I mean, I look at Connor Zilisch and I think, man, somebody smashed Shane Van Gisbergen and Kyle Larson together, and and there's Connor Zilisch basically. So yeah, Connor Zilisch, and then I would say it becomes a little bit of a toss up between a few. I would say right at this moment, Kyle Larson, because he just won another championship. There's some ebbs and flows with who's popular, but the other ones are always going to be Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chase Elliott. Kyle Busch has kind of fallen off a little bit in my eyes with the card world. Kyle Busch used to be, just a year and a half ago, he would be as sought after as anybody, and he's sort of I don't understand that, to be honest. Because his resume hasn't changed.
no. I guess
So
everybody's thinking that Richard Childress needs to build better race cars.
Yeah,
What have you done for me lately? Kind of a thing.
that's yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm kind of going to ask another question off of this. What about the female drivers? I mean, in popularity, which ones are you seeing the most popular right now?
Well, I don't think anything will ever change with Danica. Danica's always going to be sort of like a steady. You know what I mean? Like I don't think her values or interest is ever going to drop from where it is now. And so I think Danica's always going to be kind of steady. And Tony Breidinger is the one right now that everybody seems to be pretty high on as far as the females. And then there's still a lot of people collecting Haley. Brittany Zamora has sort of dropped off a little bit because she's not really been racing. She was actually working for the World of Outlaws last year. Um, and then Natalie Decker had a baby and was out for a while, and there's still a lot of interest with Natalie, but Tony's really the one as far as active. Tony B's the one I would say at this point.
Yeah, we've noticed that in King's Court. The last several weeks, she's been appeared multiple times. So definitely with her, and like I said, it doesn't hurt that she's a Victoria's Secret model.
That doesn't hurt at all.
No, it doesn't.
So you mentioned the Haley Deegan 101 you guys pulled back in 2020. Is that the most memorable break you've hosted with your big hit, or have you had bigger hits than that?
No. So probably the most memorable break. I'll tell you this story. It'll take a few seconds, but it's kind of funny. The most memorable break for me is a card that I hit in my own break. And so this was very early on. And what I would do early in the breaks when I couldn't fill or get all the spots taken is I would just keep those,
Right.
because I wanted to see the break go through, and I didn't want it to take a week to do the break. I didn't want to post it on a Monday and have to wait till the following Monday. So in order to keep things moving along, I would just take the spots. So anyway, 2018 Prime, I think I was maybe opening 2 boxes or 3, definitely no more than 2 or 3. And we got down to where I said, okay, if nobody's going to claim these drivers, I'm just going to keep them. And one of them happened to be Kyle Larson. And the very first box we opened was the Kyle Larson 101 Monster Energy Jumbo Patch.
Wow.
And still have it, obviously, that's probably my favorite card because of that, just kind of that memory of doing it and sharing it with everybody. And of course, most everybody was, very excited for me. But in my eyes, I felt like I took something from the break because I got the best card. And so I actually had more Prime sitting down underneath my shelf, and I pulled another box out and added it to the break right then and there. And we opened a third box or a fourth box, whatever it was. Um, just because I felt some sort of guilt because of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
And felt like that was the right thing to do. But that card for sure is the most memorable. And I've pulled some other really cool stuff. Chase Elliott Sunoco 101 patch. With National Treasures, we've opened a bunch of National Treasures and 101 booklets, and I mean, there's been a lot of memorable stuff. And I told somebody not too long ago, I really, maybe at the start of 2026, I'll start taking pictures of like all the 101s for the year and try to compile like an album or something of, just for the year of here's everything for that whole year, what we hit. I wish I had done that previously, but hindsight.
You do
Yeah,
a collage or
that's a
something.
great idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. One of the other cool ones that I pulled was another out of Prime was Tony Stewart. It's also a 101 jumbo patch, but the material is just red fire suit. and he autographed it.
Huh.
So when you look at the back of the card, it says, it talks about the patch just like it normally does, but then it says this autograph, the normal Panini sentence about the autograph being authenticated. So it's a jumbo patch that's also autographed.
That's a pretty cool piece right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I like that.
Yeah, and I have that too. So I pulled that for somebody in a break, and then after the break, was able to work a deal.
That's one of the perks about doing the breaks is you can make deals with people if they don't want that particular card. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I used to. I don't do it as much anymore because it was easier to do with Prime. But back when we did the Prime breaks, I would have some extra boxes, and if I pulled something that I really loved that was for somebody else, I would tell the person on the spot, look, I got an offer for you. You can keep your card, obviously, because it's yours,
Right.
or I'll give you a whole personal box right now on the spot.
So
Kind
let's
of
make a
thing.
deal.
Yeah, kind of a let's make a deal, and some people had some fun with that. It became a anytime I pulled a Kyle Larson or a Tony Stewart or what, people would say, okay, what Mike, what do you got today?
I like that. All right. Well, believe it or not, that's pretty much all the questions that we had for you. But I guess we want to know how can collectors get involved in your breaks, and where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do is just type in Rip It Racing Breaks on Facebook. It's a group on Facebook, public group. So you just join. There's the little vetting process. You just got to answer a couple questions so that I can see that you're real and not like Logan says, you're not a bot.
You're not a bot. Yeah,
So,
I swear there's people that have bots getting spots real. I mean, it's like microsecond, and they've already got Richard Petty, and like I've been refreshing and refreshing, and there it was, and I clicked. I already had it, cut and pasted. I was ready to go, and somebody still beats me.
So you think it's a bot, but it's these kids, man. The way they text us stuff, you're sitting there. You can't. You're not fast enough, man.
Well, it's like my son. He he told me, he goes, I don't even have to look at my phone. He goes, tell me something to type, and he'll turn away with his phone, and he'll be going da, 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 and there's no, it's all correct, and he does it really quicker than I could do going do 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 do. It's just they're used to it.
If your old high school keyboard teacher could see you now,
Yeah.
these young kids don't know about that.
No, they don't.
Yeah, he had a whole class in high school about doing a typewriter.
I'll tell you, back in the day when I first started doing the breaks, I have a rule in place now where you can only comment one driver at a time.
Mhm.
But back in the day, I didn't have that in place, and so there was people that they'd have typed out like Chase Elliott, Justin Allgaier, Jamie McMurray, Kurt Busch, and they'd have like 6 or 8 drivers typed out, and they'd copy it, and as soon as I'd post the break, boom, paste. And I remember filling Prime breaks 2018, 2019 Prime. We'd fill a break in 8 or 9 minutes because of that.
Yeah.
Which it's like it's kind of like, okay, that's awesome, you filled the break so fast, but how many people did we exclude because uh it only took 15 people with 5 drivers a comment to fill it. So
Right.
now we have that rule in place where it's one driver per comment to try to level the playing field and try to let people get in and keep it
Yeah.
as fair as possible.
My problem is I need to set alarms or do something, because I'll forget when you're
Yeah.
gonna have a list ready, ready to pick your driver, and it's like, and I look and went, oh, it was an hour ago, I missed it.
That's it sounds silly, but I have so many people message me and they'll say, I've got an alarm set for 7 o'clock tonight so that I don't miss the break. And you know, so yeah, I mean, I try to post the schedule ahead of time. Like currently the schedule's posted all the way through Monday. So everybody kind of knows what's coming. And you can kind of pick and choose. Like, maybe you see a break that you're like, that's not for me, but the one 2 days later is, or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and I try to mix it up a little bit with the times so that it's not, like my West Coast collectors out in Washington and California, and we've even got a guy in Alaska, that they'll say, "Hey, can you post some later breaks for us on the West Coast? Because 7 p.m. Eastern time is not all that late for us." And
That's true. I mean, I don't even know what time zone they're in. It's got to be further than the
yeah, he's in Alaska. He's 4 hours behind where he's at.
wow.
So
That's not as
yeah,
bad as I thought.
no, but still, I mean, on a Sunday, if I post a break on a race day Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon, that's 9:30 in the morning for him.
Yeah.
So
So I got
um,
one more question for you. So you kind of mentioned it about the Outlaw, and I know they had Outlaw cars. Did you do breaks for Outlaw? How did you
yeah,
like those? How'd they do?
yeah. So I liked them actually. I don't know if I have some. I
'Cause I
do.
think they had a second series, if I remember right.
Yeah, they just came out. Here's a couple of them. I'll try to show you. They they just came out with the series 2, and I didn't get any of the series 2, and part of the reason why is it's the same drivers. Um, they didn't do any kind of autographs at all in their sets, which is fine,
Right.
especially to start out with. And the price, they were like, I want to say they were like $9 or $10 a pack, so pretty affordable, for a collector. And but they did have some foil cards and some numbered cards you could get. The second series, though, they actually showed the print runs. The second series print runs were about quadruple what series 1 was.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And even the serial numbered cards, like, you could get serial numbered cards in series 1 that were numbered to 25. Series 2, they were numbered to like 75 and 125. So that's why I really didn't jump into series 2, because same drivers, higher print runs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they're not used to doing card runs here, and they figured, oh, we can make more, but
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily work that way. And I can't remember if was it Corey Day, if he was in there or not. That was the one
Yeah.
I would be interested in, but I don't think they
I
did
don't
it.
think
So
he was.
I don't think
I
he
don't
was in
think.
there. So I'd be curious if they're going to do that again next year, if they just did Series 2 or not. But
Yeah,
um,
and I don't know how much you guys know about the dirt racing side and the World of Outlaws and the business side with them, but I- doing the sprint car cards this year, I think, opens the door for them, because World of Outlaws is owned by what's called the World Racing Group. And World Racing Group owns World of Outlaw sprint cars. They own World of Outlaw late models. They own the super modifieds. Um, so I think now that they've seen they can do it, it might open the door to some other avenues as far as cards are concerned with other series and things. And so you might see a Jonathan Davenport late model card one of these days, or something like that too. So
be cool if they would bring a little of the nostalgia back and do little box sets like they did back in '87. Uh, like they had the
yeah,
whole complete sets back in the day.
yeah, yeah, I would be a fan of that for sure. It was pretty easy to put a set together, because there's only 15. I think there was 15 drivers, and then they had, I want to say, 5 personalities. Like, one of them was Johnny Gibson, the announcer, the voice of the World of Outlaws. And then there was a couple other people. So I'll be curious to see where this goes for them down the road, though. It could be really interesting. So
I know that first series sold out pretty quick.
yeah, so the first series they released on the day of the Knoxville Nationals, and they put it on the website. I don't remember what the time was, like 1 p.m. I think 30 minutes later it was sold out.
Wow.
And I knew some folks at the Knoxville Nationals, and they said that they went to the trailer, and they said by 2 p.m. at the World of Outlaws merchandise trailer, they were completely sold out. So within about an hour, they were completely sold out everywhere. So
Yeah, I had some in my cart, and I was like, "Well, I'm not sure if I want to go down this road." And I don't remember if they had the checklist out or not. I was like, "Well, it's kind of one of those things with the, like, well, let me wait and see, maybe
right,
before before I pull the trigger on some of this, because if I did it, I was gonna,
yeah,
buy what 10 packs or whatever it would be. So
right,
um, it wasn't like it was $10 for a wax box or something. So, but
right.
anyway, so
They did. I will tell you on these. The one thing I am glad they did. Um, some of these guys you won't know, but like Zach Hampton on the bottom, they have a rookie card logo on the bottom of these. So, someday if one of these guys is the next Jeff Gordon, Kyle Larson, whatever, one of their rookie cards could be quite sought after.
Yeah, it's a
definitely.
limited print run for sure.
All right, do you want to go to the next segment here? Mike's I think, gonna stay with us, or you're welcome to stay if you have
Yeah, I'll
time,
hang
Mike.
out.
So next I will list is the spellbound word of the week. If you are ready,
Yes, I am ready. Go ahead. All right. So this week's spellbound word of the week is. Go ahead, Val.
Depilation.
Or
Depilation.
there you go. But yeah, depilation. What that means is the removal of hair, wool, or bristles by chemical or mechanical methods. So I guess maybe shaving or something. But I'm using it in a sentence. SVG's helmet has given him a lot of depilation since his days as a rookie.
yeah,
So don't forget, it is.
Depilation.
There you go. Perfect.
of course.
And like I said, I want to do other words and just be posting them on Twitter, but I keep saying it, but I'm retired, but I'm busier now, I swear, than I've ever been
I
in my
told you.
life. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. All right, next on the list, and thank you for that. NASCAR Radio, entertaining and
Depilation.
educational. So we touched on it last week about the Racing Card Hall of Fame and taking nominations right now. Uh, there
Yeah.
is the image. If you pull out your phone and do the QR code, that will take you to the website, and you can enter your email address. Is just kind of keep track of who's entering uh, entries, and then your password is going to be the RCHOF uppercase, and that should get you in.
Yes. And the nominations end on 11/30/25, the end of the month. So, for those of you who cannot scan the URL code, the website, it's a secure website. It's bit.ly/2026 RCHOF nominations. So you can go there and you don't have to do 10 cards. You can do 3 cards, or you can do 5, or you can do 1. It doesn't matter. Just if you've got some favorite race cards that are not in the Hall of Fame currently and not on our top 20 that carry over from last year, then nominate those cards and they could appear on the ballot for 2026.
Yeah, so when I went through the process, you can see the 2024, 2025 nominations, and then also the rollovers for the nominations for 26. So,
Yeah, we have all that on that Google Forms webpage.
yep.
So
How many
vote
slots?
early,
10?
vote often.
Yeah. So I was surprised, like the 1988 Max Talladega Streaks wasn't on there. I'm like, that was a huge card.
Yeah, and everybody's always jacking the price up on that thing. So I don't know why it's not on the list yet, but it's not.
Well, I guess it was like the NASCAR Hall of Fame when they were doing it. They had to get all the big ones in first. So now we're getting the Earnhardts and the Allisons and all that stuff, and
Yeah, it's kind of
Andretti
like that. Yeah,
and Foyt. Yeah.
for sure. All right. Oh, We did not talk about this in the green room, and I have a note here, and I aim to tell you about it, Val. I hate to surprise you with something, but for those of you who remember, and even I have kind of
Petridge
forgotten it,
Farms.
huh? Pepperidge
Petridge.
Farms does remember. They remember, but I don't remember because I'm getting old. But we have a merch store. See, Val forgot about it too.
No, I actually I got. I think I got. There's an ornament out there.
Yeah, we got ornaments and socks and hoodies and t-shirts and trucker hats and all kinds of stuff. But let me tell you, we don't make any money off of this at all. Zero. All the money that we get, which is not a lot, trust me, but it goes back into paying for, things that we use on the show. Like there's a fee for this, for the studio that we use, and there's fees for other things that the URLs and things that we have to pay for out of our own pocket. So it helps offset just a little bit, but it does help. So we don't make any money. But the URL is www.zazzle.com/store/NasCardRadio.
I'll make a
So it's
note. I'll have
Christmas
to go.
time. So it's time to buy yourself some cool NASCAR radio swag to wear around and represent, and you can take pictures of yourself, send them in, we'll put them on here.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I forgot about the. I
Yeah,
didn't forget about it. I mean, I knew we had it and it was out there, but I haven't visited. I haven't visited in a while. Like you, I have a. I have another job, so
yeah. So yeah, we don't really ever talk about it, but we do have it, and we have sold a few. I looked at it, we've sold a few things out there, so that's good.
I think we're like some of the worst at self promoting. So,
We're not very good at it.
so, but thank you for reminding everybody about that.
Yep. All right.
Anything else before we go to
So
King's Court?
I think that's it, man. It's time for me to eat some Imperial margarine.
You love that stuff.
Tasty.
All right.
All right. This week's King's Court. And Mike, feel free to chime in with your thoughts and comments, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So, honorable mention number 1. This was on the 11th of October. It's Jimmy Johnson and F. Gordon, 2005 Press Pass Eclipse teammates auto. It's a bookend, number 25 of 25. And they're asking $375 for 11 total championships there. They took a best offer. It's a nice round number of $305.50 for Jeff and Jimmy.
Looking at the back here. Oh, it's upside down.
But I'm wondering if he was subliminally saying something to Jeff Gordon, because it says in the description F. Gordon.
Yeah, he missed the J. That was it. A lot of interesting. How much was that again? I'm sorry. I was
Yeah, $305.50.
okay.
I think that's fair. I mean, you've got a 7-time champ and a 4-time champ right there.
That's when Jimmy actually signed his full name.
Yeah, he's even got dots on the Jimmy, and he's got a kind of an H on Johnson. So,
and even Jeff's not too bad.
have you, Mike? Have you broken much of the Legacy Press Pass products?
No, I mean, we've done some press pass, various products, but very little, I guess I should say.
Yeah, that may be an avenue to explore. Maybe you could have vintage Rip It racing brakes.
Yeah, I'd love to do more. The problem is sourcing them.
Yeah,
is finding them. Which I still believe somebody somewhere has probably got a closet full of press pass.
definitely.
We just don't know it,
Yeah, Val and I have talked about that in private before, and we wonder where a lot of these things went, and we think somebody's hoarding them.
Yeah.
I got some, but I don't got a lot.
All right. So next up is honorable mention number 2. This was on the 10th of October, and I like this card. You don't see it very often, but I think we've had it a couple times on King's Court. It's a 1986 Big League Cards Quincy's race team, Alan Kowicki. 1986 rare card. It is rare. And it went out for bidding, and it landed at $342.10 with 3 bids. That's
That is pretty impressive for an older card, not numbered, not autographed.
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I mean, but he's a champion, so
Is that a screw down?
Yeah,
that tells you how long that thing's probably been in there since it was new,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
almost 40 years.
I can't remember. I don't know if I've actually held one of these. If that is, I don't think it's glossy stock, so I don't
It's
know if
not.
it's an
It,
issue. The corners might be a little frayed from being down, but being in that screw down. But that's a tough one.
it is tough. I've got one. I bought it a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
You can contact Tom and Joan Roberts, their Quincy Steakhouse racing team.
Yeah, somebody out there call that number and let us know who it is.
Wow,
Yeah, it's a cool card though.
very nice. Good price.
Yeah, I think so. All right.
Vintage. Yep.
Next up is our Joker of the Week. This is also on the 10th of October. And you're going to like this, Mike. High Limit Sprint Car Racing Booklet, 8 autos, 1 of 1, it says. Larson, Sweet, Abreu, Thorson, Peck, and so on and so forth. They were asking $400 for this, and it went for a best offer of $300. Now, I'm going to say this first. Is this a legit card? Because I'm not sure.
I believe so. So I heard last year that High Limit, yeah, it looks legit to me. That High Limit produced a small run of cards, and like if World of Outlaws was under the radar, these guys were like in the sewer under the radar. Like, and if anybody's not familiar, High Limit and World of Outlaws are like parallel to each other. Same level race car drivers. It's just a competing series, basically. And it's owned by Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet. And but yeah, that looks to be one of them, and that's that's pretty badass. That's pretty awesome.
It
Yeah,
is.
because when the World of Outlaws came out this year, and I was looking at, I think it's Corey Day, and I think if you go to the trading card database, this pops up. But um, did see this. You see cards very rarely, or back then anyway, on eBay. I don't know if the checklist is out there or not, but yeah, this is one of those. I think Mike, what you're saying is really small print run.
Yep. Yeah, and very similar to the World of Outlaws. They had uh, either 12 or 15 guys that followed their series. So you're probably not going to find more than about 12 or 15 drivers total. And to get a 8 autograph booklet, though, I had no idea they even did autographs.
I didn't know that either, and that all on card is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's really nice.
That's super cool. And I think that whoever bought it pretty much stole it.
Yeah.
I think so. Would you say it went for three?
$300.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you got Rico on there, and you've got Brad Sweet. Isn't Brad Sweet, Mike? Isn't that Kyle Larson's brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I thought.
So yeah, Kyle's wife is Brad's sister.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where her. If you guys have ever heard the term "shotgun sweetie," that's where her nickname came from. Was because she's a sweet by maiden name.
Awesome.
very nice.
But that's a heck of a card right there.
Yeah.
I saw that. I said, that's so unusual. It's definitely got to be my Joker.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't realize, Mike, how much of a dirt fan you were when I did this. So that's all. That worked out well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm geeking out over that for sure.
No kidding, man. All right. So next up is going to be our Jack of the Week, and this was on the 11th of October, 2025. Go figure on this one. 2025 Panini Donruss Connor Zilisch downtown. They were asking $700 for this card, and it went for $605
Wow.
for a downtown.
So all we need now is parallel cities.
Yeah. There's rumors about that. I'm hearing rumors. But so, Mike, as far as downtowns are concerned, I'm sure you've pulled your fair share of downtowns out of product.
Yeah, yeah. We've pulled quite a few, and I know. I'll add my 2 cents to the serial numbered or parallels downtowns. I would be of the opinion I'd kind of like to see them not produce any base downtowns at all, and just say, hey, we're going to do a run of 25 and a run of 10 and a 101, and that's it. And then we know how many are out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that would be my pipe dream for the downtowns, or any of even the Kavrooms, any of these kind of case hit things. I'd kind of like to see them all be serial numbered and short printed so that we know what we got as collectors.
Yeah, but then we could figure out the print runs, though.
Well, you could,
Right.
but you couldn't, right? It's only really hobby. Then you still have to throw retail in there. So.
Well, that is true. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I'll second that.
All right. Yeah, me too. All right. So next up is going to be our Queen of the Week. This is on the 9th of October. Look who it is. It's Danica Patrick, 2025 Panini Turn 4 Hat Dance Signatures. Oh, we do have a gold. Holy smokes. We love gold. There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's an auto 10 of it's number 10 of 10, another bookend. And this card went out for bidding, and it ended at $103.50 with 13 bids. And that's her car number too. They did not really mention that.
No, I think that 103 might be a little low.
I think so too. 103 is way low for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really nice patch.
For a double door number?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody stole that for sure, no doubt.
I pulled one similar to that, and I thought for a second it might have been the one that I pulled in a break. But once you showed the serial number, I knew it wasn't the same one. But yeah, that's a steal.
That is a steal. And I know in your breaks you're pretty keen and up on when there's a car number or door number match. So you would have remembered that one for sure.
Yeah. I try to be. And if I'm not, the guys in the group will swiftly correct me.
All right, dude, you forgot.
Yeah. You're fired.
And yeah.
Exactly.
But that's a cool card, and you guys are right. Somebody stole that for only $103.50.
Because what's a box of turn 4?
Box of turn 4 is what, 130-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so that's it's less than a box of cards.
Sure is. And you know what? It's encapsulated.
That it is.
All right. So next up is going to be our King of the Week. So get ready for this one. This was actually on the 7th of October. It's a 2025 Panini Turn 4 again. Connor Zilisch Kavroom case hit. They were asking $850 for this, and it went for $750 best offer. Crazy money.
It's right up there with the downtown. I mean, it's about $100 more than the downtown, but
yeah.
So which one do you like better, the Kavroom or the downtown?
I kind of like the downtown as far as, it's got him standing up and, he's like pointing up, after he wins a race. I kind of like that one. But, we still don't know how many they make of each one of these cards.
Right.
But I do like the Kavrooms. So,
Okay.
so have you, Mike, have you hit any Kavrooms on your breaks?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've pulled several. I was just thinking about one of the breaks I did recently. The box had a Chase Elliott Kavroom, and then the jumbo patch was the Chase Elliott. It was the small Napa logo.
Oh, wow.
And so, the person that had the Chase Elliott spot obviously had probably the break of a lifetime. But yeah, and probably the two best cards in the case, I'm guessing, in that box.
Right.
But yeah, I have not pulled a Zilisch yet, though. I will say that.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, we've pulled, several other like Chase, Dale Jr., Ryan Blaney. I mean, we've pulled a lot of really good ones.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So
that's a
yeah,
heck of a card. We understand that next year the Kavrooms may have the driver instead of the car. So I don't know that that's a true fact, but I guess we'll stay tuned and find out.
I thought I heard either you guys or Misha might have hinted at that a little bit, that maybe it
Yeah.
was going to go back and forth each year.
Yes.
I think that's a brilliant way to go, personally.
Yeah.
Because then it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm with you on that. And I hope they do that.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we've got our ace, which is our 1 of 1. This was on the 6th of October. Connor Zilisch, 1 of 1 Diamond Platinum S. It's from Spellbound. It says 2025 Donruss NASCAR Racing. They were asking $499.99 for this card. And you know what happened? Somebody went dun 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 dun. Click. There
Wow.
you go. Somebody bought it for $499.99.
Free shipping.
Yeah. I like it. You're always spot on the shipping. I like that.
Glass half full, Val.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Who Logan? Who was the seller on that?
Who is the seller on that?
Oh, it's
Val?
Ragman's Cards, Comics, Collectibles. Feedback of 3214.
Okay. The only reason I ask is of that Spellbound set, I have pulled 2 of the 101 platinums for people in my group. And I can't remember if the S is one of them or not, but I
Unless
don't
they
recognize.
consign to somebody else, or
Yeah, I don't recognize that name, so.
Yeah, I've opened up a bunch of this year's Donruss, no 1 of 1s though. So maybe it's coming.
You're due. Yep.
I'm definitely due. So yeah, it's a cool card. And you know what? It's so shiny. It's
yeah, you
very
can see
shiny.
they made sure to get the glimmer shimmer off of it.
Well, really, what that is the Northern Lights.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So there you go. You can see the Northern Lights. All right. So here we go. Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Royal Flush of the Week. This is on the 10th of October. And this is a cool card. This is a card, believe it or not, I do not have in my collection, and I would like to have one. 1996 Pinnacle Zenith Highlights, Dale Earnhardt, 7 Wonders. And it says gold. We love gold. There you go. Yeah, it's a gold racing card. This card went out for bidding. They let it fly, man. And it ended up at $2,001 with 71 bids. And they didn't even mention in the description that it was graded by CGC.
I was looking at that one corner right there.
Yeah, that
Wow.
one corner hurt it bad because there's not a lot of chipping on that one.
That's what I was looking at. The back looks really good, except for that one corner that somebody gnawed off. So it must be that corner there then.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That's a epic card.
That's an epic card. Do you have any of those cards, Mike?
I do not. And if I had one of those, I'd probably be listing it on eBay right now.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen people list one for like $1 million.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on.
Right.
I mean, it's not worth that.
There's a big difference between 1 million and 2,000, or even 4,000 or 10,000 than 1 million. I mean, that's way out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
I would love to pull one of those. I mean, I've got some boxes of that here. Maybe one day I'll get motivated enough to do a video on those and break them. But that's a heck of a card. It's on a lot of people's want list for sure. It's definitely on mine.
You would think that with 94 of them, and I think we've probably seen 5 or 6 maybe here in the last few years, and the prices they're not cheap. Again, in the 2000, you would have thought that we would have seen a lot more for sale. So maybe they're in the wax.
That's what I'm thinking, because there's still a lot of wax out there. Because I know I'm sitting on a couple boxes. I think you are too.
Yeah, I wonder if it's. I was thinking of the Allen and Ginter, the wood, the wood minis or whatever. They're probably all sitting in one case.
Yeah, they're lost to eternity. They're in the Indiana Jones warehouse.
Yeah, with 94 of them.
Have you guys noticed? Because you guys are better associated, more knowledgeable about these older products, obviously, than I am. But have you guys noticed over a period of time since that Earnhardt documentary came out? Have you noticed any kind of difference in the pricing of seniors stuff?
Yeah, I'll start first, Val. Yeah, I have. We've noticed that it's a pretty steady incline right now on prices, especially like a lot of his press pass memorabilia cards have been really going for a lot of money. And then, of course, his autographs continually keep going up. But it's really, I think, the mem cards that I've seen a lot of increase on.
I would say, for the most part, they're commanding a pretty good for the memorabilia, because you never. I mean, Misha and those guys are good and all, but um, there's only so many fire suits out there that they can get, if they can get any. I remember, Logan. What year was it? It was a few years ago. We saw the driver suit for Earnhardt. It was like 20 grand, and it was gone within the first day or something.
Yeah, was you talking about at the National?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that. It was very similar to this one right behind me.
Exactly, and that's what piqued my interest. And then it wasn't, maybe it was a few hours or it was the next day, but it was gone before.
Yeah.
Before Thursday or Friday. So again, that stuff is tough to find. Sheet metal, and then the autos, especially for the pack pulled. I think they've just been still holding steady. So, and I think the documentary, they did a great job. Earnhardt Jr. They really did that very well. So I'm hoping they can do some more documentary about some of these folks. I know that the Flock family, if you're familiar with Tim Flock and the Flock brothers, and that they're working on maybe a series, and they've done some video or some filming in Dawsonville and around there. So hopefully, I mean, I like the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but I just don't think that they're really doing justice of some of these pioneers and stuff like that. And I know the NASCAR, and Logan tell you as well, that the NASCAR model is basically, they don't promote anything unless they're getting paid. So
Right.
they, and I think that's one of the things that really kind of hurts them, that they need everybody to pay for everything. There's no real promotion of stuff. I know, and on one of the old episodes, we were going through some of the Max facts, and that Max was like got the exclusive for NASCAR, and that they used the NASCAR logo, but that didn't help them, from saving the brand, and they ended up going bankrupt because NASCAR really didn't do anything for them, and it was all about the drivers and the teams and stuff. So
Yeah.
But yeah, cool card. One day I'll have enough money saved up and I'll get me one.
yeah, or you're gonna open them up one of your boxes and it'll be there.
There you
You
go.
never know.
It's just marinating.
It is. It is marinating. It's going to be like fine wine when it comes out of there.
Well, I didn't have one of those, but I did have I opened up some '94 wheels and had that Earnhardt Jr. Day One Gold sitting in there.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Those are tough.
So those are, we get like 5 or 10 golds a box. So
Yeah, but you know what? We love gold. There you go. Mm-hmm.
yes, sir. So
Well, that's it. That's all I got for King's Court this week.
all
We're done.
right, you did it. Okay, I don't know if you want to wrap up here. Some hashtags or anything. I'll start with my redemption suck. Hashtag redemption suck.
Well, I'll do this one. Hashtag.
Depilation.
There you go. And we'll just do a couple this week. Hashtag we love gold. There you go. That's the only hashtags I got this week, I guess.
Well, Mike, thank you for joining us. I don't know if you have anything. Where can folks find you, or
Well,
any?
I'll tell you, the Facebook group's the easiest thing, but I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just look up Rip It Racing Breaks. You'll find it there. And I would be, I would have some regret if I didn't at least mention our group every year does a Secret Santa, and our Secret Santa season is coming up. Val, Logan, you guys are welcome to participate. Any of your listeners. Secret Santa in our group is real simple. You collect at least 15 cards from whatever you have. They can be drivers that you don't want. The only prerequisites is they need to be either serial numbered, autographed, or relics. And you send those in along with $5 for your return shipping. And then I set up these tables in my basement and literally mix them all up. And I ask for everybody to give me their top 3 favorite drivers and do my best with everything that's sent in to try to then return cards to everybody of their favorite drivers. And then, of course, I throw in some stuff. I try to throw in a pack for everybody to open and maybe a sticker and some stuff like that too. So it's just a fun little thing. If you got some stuff sitting at home and you don't know what to do with it and you want to try to do something with it and maybe get something else in return, it's a fun little way to do it. And you get something to open. I ship them about a week before Christmas. So you got something to open right at Christmas time.
Oh, that's awesome. I like how you do that. So you can sign me up for Vinnie Miller and the Dillon boys.
You're gonna
Wait,
get so
now
much.
sign you up to send them in, or sign you up that that's who you want? Because you got to be very
That's who I
clear.
want.
Okay.
Gonna send in was it the Priority Mail flat rate box.
My running joke is Zachary Tinkle. He's my kind of running joke around here.
Yeah, he's one of my sophomoric slabs too. So yeah, I like that name.
Yeah. But yeah, if like I said, it's a fun thing, and I forgot to mention it earlier. So that's something that anybody can participate in, and it doesn't cost anything other than cards you got laying around and $5. So
$5 foot long.
that's it.
That's right. Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for everybody watching, listening to the show. And Mike, again, thank you for joining us. Really enjoyed it. And Logan, anything else before we go? I know we always do
No,
this, but
roll the tote board on this marathon right now.
okay.
We're at an hour 15.
I know, I see it. Okay, what else? Oh, so remind everybody the Racing Card Hall of Fame nominations. Get those in by
The 30th
30th.
of this month, the end
Yeah,
of the
that
month.
time is flying. So
Yeah,
you don't want to wait because you'll forget, and then you'll be like, man, my favorite card wasn't nominated. So,
yeah. It's up to you guys out there to nominate. So do it.
all right, well, we are out of here. We will see everybody next week.
Until next time, I'd like to wish each and every one of you happy painting